And we are live. Round 21, the Brazilian Grand Prix. Sao Paulo is going to get techie than techie things over the next couple of... I swear, I cannot wait. Let us go. I feel like we are gathered here to answer some questions, ladies and gentlemen of the F1 jury of the Drivers' Championship variety. Gonna get techier than techie things, and I am here for it. T-minus 26 minutes until we get ourselves an all-important FP1. And I, for one, cannot wait over humanity. Have you heard about this Oscar Piastri stuff? Should we talk about this in the first instance? Because I feel like Oscar Piastri, Izzy, you're a legend, Error Unknown, Joe, Germanic, let's go. It's going to get techier than techie things. Look, I feel like something's going on with Oscar Piastri. Can we talk? Can we have an honest conversation? Nobody's watching now. Nobody's watching. This isn't me saying Oscar Piastri necessarily is going to leave McLaren. Do you know what I mean? With immediate effect. This isn't me saying that there's a lot of things that need to happen in order for that to ultimately be the eventuality to decide OJP's future. But am I saying that it's not the least likely probability? You bet your bottom dollar I am. That's exactly what I'm saying. The probability of Oscar Piastri by the second no day that he leaves and goes to, I don't know, a Red Bullions team, I feel like that goes up by the second. That's the point that I'm trying to make. 95 of you watching concurrently. T-minus 25 minutes away from a cheeky qualifying session. Qualifying, Cameron, so soon. Free practice, of course, Cameron. Get your SH1T together, young sir, or not so young. It's race week, ladies and gentlemen. Please beat up the like. But Darius, you're a legend. Let me say it front and uncenter. This is important. Do me a favour. If you like the stream, then like the stream. It means more to the channel than you might realise. And in the second instance, this channel ceases to exist. No, it thrives and drives by dint of you guys turning up each and every single time. It is your industry and your availability that props this channel up and keeps it full of tank. Next Vegas Qatar is going to get techie. And again, as far as Oscar Piastri, I'm scared for him because he doesn't do well around them there tracks. Qatar's the only one, second and third. The rest of them, it's like 6th, Abu Dhabi 9th. He's all over the shop, isn't he, this Oscar Piastri fella? And I'm a tad concerned for him, if I'm honest. I think, again, we have the conversation under the aegis of the single point that separates Oscar currently from Lando Norris. He must want out. I think he'll be thinking about it, and I think there will be conversations ongoing, lest we forget Otmar Zafnauer and what he said about the bloody ENIC updates. Everyone's good, Joe Bar. I appreciate you saying that, mate. And again, prayers to those. Hurricane Melissa hasn't been too good on Jamaica land we love. Max and Gabby interview was in fact. You know what, Brian? I've got all the clips, mate. I listened to the Gabby Pelas Pistas podcast. I listened to it and I took notes. It's chaos, ladies and gentlemen. My favourite piece, if I'm honest, about the Max Verstappen podcast, the fact that he was so open and honest. I would love to do a Joe Rogan-esque podcast like that with Maximilian Verstappen. If you guys know somebody, then reach out. Do you know what I mean? Just talk for 2-3 hours. Just dive into everything. The handling dynamic, his ability, like Max D1 level Max Glaze, 2024 Brazil, 2016 Brazil, talk about 2021 Abu Dhabi. Just go into everything, just have a nice relaxed conversation. Maybe we'll make it happen one day, chat, maybe, but it was good. It was an insight, it was an it was an insight into the mind of one of the greatest F1 drivers that I think we'll ever see, if not the greatest. And how can you pass up that opportunity, right? I was some of the bits and bobs. Gabriel Bortoletto saying that 90% of the drivers currently on the grid aren't as you'd expect them to be. They're shapeshifters, per se. You're a legend, Brexter, of course, mate. Maximilian Standard, I have to head to work. You're a legend, 702. I appreciate you for joining, dialing in, even fleetingly. Come on, Max, let's show that. I mean, it needs to rain, doesn't it? I'm nervous. Go on then. We've got some stats and facts and figures. Per the legend that is Daniel Vellante over at Twitter, 2 scenarios is outlined if Max is going to win the championship of the drivers' variety. That Max wins all the races and sprints, 2 of which are left races. There are 4 remaining. This is round 21. Lando Norris, therefore, would have to finish second in every single race apart from 4th in one. Max Verstappen and Lando, therefore, will be level, but Max, per 2007, between Lewis and Alonso, Max would win on countback. Scenario 2, Max wins all the races and sprints left. Max basically has to win everything then, right? Lando Norris finished seconds in both sprints, second in 2 races, and third in 2 races. Oh, the humanity. Oscar Piastri finishes third in both sprints, second in 2 races, third in 2 races. Verstappen, even then, is the level on points, but he's the driver's champion on countback. He's going to get this close, chat. It is close, I swear. Listen, can he do it? You bet your bottom dollar he can. Will he? Listen, my crystal ball is as murky as the next person's. Do you know what I mean? It's going to get techie. T-minus 20 minutes until we get ourselves a cheeky FP1 round 21. The Brazil Grand Prix. I'm nervous. Oof. Brundle saying that problems for Oscar Piastri as the one that they call Lando Norris, aka Dustin from Stranger Things, has reached a rich vein of form. Oof. Look at this though. What's Craig Slater doing on what's going on here? Oh, hang on. They've put up my stat. Yeah, cheers, lads. 2024 results. Oscar Piastri, second in the sprint in Brazil, 8th in the Grand Prix proper, 7th, 2nd, 3rd and 10th in Las Vegas, Qatar Sprint, Qatar GP and Abu Dhabi respectively. It doesn't go well, chat. This is my problem. Again, if I'm putting on my finance cap and I've got to leverage something, pin my cap on something, I'm not sure Oscar Piastri goes well around these tracks that we've got coming up, and therein lies the problem. If you're an Oscar Piastri fan, podcast with Max and Gabby was really great. I really enjoyed it, Darius. I'm not going to lie. Maybe one day when young Cameron goes at potentially F1, we'll get there. Zach's statement and the McLaren's cumulative attitude towards the WDC is so shameful, says Umach. How can you mention 2007 even if Max wins? You are the rival FC. Yeah, you can't write it too much. The level of overcompensation from Zach Brown is like, it's loud, it's tangible somehow. And I think for that, the racing gods may not be too kind to Messrs Norris and Oscar under the aegis of Zach Brown meddling in the competitive landscape ad nauseum. It's going to get techie. 5th at best this race for Oscar. Oh dear. Z. It's going to get techie. I'm here for it though. Oh, listen, they're replaying the Beyond the Grid podcast. My crystal ball is here for it. Mate. Go on, let me read you out some stats and figures. Your race winner around Brazil last year. In fact, let me go pole sitter first. Your pole sitter was Lando Norris, god tier lap, but again, Maximilian Verstappen's progress got halted, started in P17, and that notwithstanding, still went on to nail it, didn't he? P17 to P1, and shortly thereafter, setting purple laps like it was nothing. Of course, Max Verstappen wouldn't expect anything different from you at this juncture. 2024, Lando Norris was the pole sitter. 23, it was Max. 22, it was Kevin Magnussen. 21, it was Valtteri Bottas. 2019, none other than the soon-to-be 5-time champion, Maximilian Verstappen. Recent winners around there, or we're doing head-to-head qualifying. Max has qualified around there 9 times. 9 times he's defeated his teammate. Lando Norris 5 times. 5 times he's defeated his teammate. Hülkenberg 10 times, or 11 times, excuse me. 9 of which he's defeated his teammate. Those bods have the best record as far as your qualifying head-to-head. Most wins around there. Michael Schumacher has 4. Seb has 3. Lewis Hamilton has 3, which is surprising, eh? Maximilian Verstappen also has 3. Most podiums around there. Michael Schumacher has 10. Alonso 9. Kimi Raikkonen has 7, Lewis 7, Max Verstappen has 6. Most poles around here, Ayrton Senna has 3, Hakkinen 3, Felipe Massa 3, Rubens Barrichello 3. Likewise, Sir Lewis Hamilton 3. Max Verstappen only 2 poles. This is interesting now. This is interesting. I can't wait for the avoidance of doubt. Your odds look something like this. So your sprinter in a Maximilian Verstappen is the favourite. I mean, it's the rain, isn't it, chat? I bring up the weather forecast when we're doing FP2, but it is the rain that could potentially... It's the X factor. If you get rain, then all bets are off for the McLaren bot. If we don't get rain, then it's going to get techier than techie things for all the rest of them, because that McLaren aerodynamic efficiency, the cooling ducts and all those new bits and bobs that they brought last race weekend at Mexico. And again, remember, this is still an high altitude, track. So it's going to get, I swear, it is going to get a bit techie than techie things. Brazil Grand Prix winner currently, Maximilian Verstappen, 17-10. He is therefore your race favourite, meaning therefore that if we run the race 100 times under these current circumstances, they say Max Verstappen will win this race 37% of the time. Lando Norris 36% of the time. Oscar Piastri 16.6% recurring. It's gonna go. I just can't. Honestly, chat. It's mad. This. It is a bit mad. Did I not get a bloody poll out? I'm sure I got a poll out. You guys need to let me know the poll. The proper poll, not the sprint race. The poll proper. You guys let me know who you've got. Here we go. 250 of you in the chat can currently do me a favour and smash the like. It means more to the channel than you might realise. Shortly, in the next couple of minutes, we'll get ourselves some multi-viewer up, of course. Why not? The go-toest F1 app to have ever F1'd in F1 history. Craig Slater puts forth the supposition, would Lando Norris, if he lost it, would there be shame? Jolyon Palmer said the same thing. If McLaren balls this up, forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. It's techie. That is really, really techie. Go on then. No upgrades. There we go. Look at that. I don't hate that. What do you think the favourable setup will lean towards? High or down, or high or low down? Well, it depends on your lean. Are you thinking of qualifying? TWM. Is this the British Grand Prix for Maximilian Verstappen, or does he need to lean more towards the race? The legend that he said they'll be focused on the race because that's where you win all the points, right? Your paid sessions. I'm not so sure though, chat. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I can't gauge it. Cameron, it's not just the rain. It's grade 4 rain tomorrow, 2 to 3 on Sunday, 70 to 80% chance of precipitation. Oh, bathe in the fear. FP1 needs to start so we can see how the cars and the track develop. 100% V-Carbs might be good around there. True also. Racing Bulls. Max, you're a legend. McLaren has screwing it up in their heads. Said that they're going to go offensive, man, but sometimes there's a time to be pragmatic, is there not? Cam, you ate your Weetabix today. I don't know if I have. Many F1 threads, which we need to pull and digest. Michael, I'm nervous, chat. Why are my palms sweaty already for FP1? T-minus 12 minutes away from it, by the way. 230 of you in here can currently do me a favour and smoosh the like. Right, we need to get ourselves some metrics, don't we? Let's go. Alpine Colapinto. I don't want to hear about that, Ted Kravitz. I want to hear about these conversations that Oscar Piastri is having. How are you, Mark? You're a legend, sir. Appreciate you, mate. Smooch the cheat. Error unknown says rain all over the show. Wet tyre. Signal red flags. There will be red flags. As there was last. There's always some sort of craziness around here, right? That's when the Regenmeisters come out to play. Bouncing between the Alps. Let's go Chiba. Wet tyres and rain. T-minus 11 minutes. Not 30 seconds, Carmen, I don't think. Everyone basically crashed last year. They struggled, didn't they? Even the Regenmeisters proper. Even the Regenmeisters proper struggled, didn't they? Yeah. Anywhere but McLaren. It's a shame that McLaren find themselves in this predicament, having done so well, having brought their car to the fore. Am I glitching or is that just me? Let me just make sure. How are the conditions in Brazil? They are really then real things, real king. Is Max going to go low downforce? S1 and 3 car efficiency. Max will do S2 on his own. On the other hand, I see OJ doing a higher downforce, lean towards his high grip favourable habitat. Love that TWM. I can't tell. I mean, it depends on... It's complicated, but it all depends on whether you're going to prioritise. It's not that difficult. Contrary to what I said to Shez on the shakedown yesterday, it's not that difficult to overtake around here. It's doable. It can get done. So then you might want to lean in towards a higher downforce, right? With a view to slay the dragon that is tyre degradation. Have you spoken about Colapinto's new deal? Nothing interesting, I guess. No. There's too much other things going on. No, of course he's going to get I think he has gotten a new deal. Flavio Briatore now realises that there's no one else, that the grass isn't necessarily greener on the other side. For Alpine at least. Who else are they going to sign? Oscar. I think Oscar's going to... No. Who do they have to go out and sign some genius F1 driver that doesn't exist is one thing. We have the conversation in a vacuum then, don't we? Who is there available to them? Jack wasn't doing too well. No one. Heading to uni, you're a legend. Keep yapping and glazing in 1 year. There are good places even in the dry to about 100%. Turn 4 maybe. On the inside or the outside, depending on where the defender defends. There are good places even in a dry. By the way, chat, I'm going to have to run ever so slightly early. Normally, of course, if there's a car out on track, we'll be streaming it over here. However, your boy's going to have to run away about T-minus 30 minutes before, 30 minutes prematurely before FP1 end. But as always, if there is a track that accepted the final 30 minutes of FP1. If there is a car out on track, then we will be here streaming it. Is it raining? I don't think it is at the moment. Craig Slater looked quite dry. Cameron, does Ferrari renew? Oh my God, Joe Bart. Oh, the humanity. Does Ferrari renew Sir Lewis in 2027 or risk Behrman going to another team? I think... See, Max was talking about this on the Pelas Pistas podcast, that sometimes it's good to have a young, hungry, fire-breathing dragon in Charles Leclerc, aka modern-day Jean Alesi, and an older, even-handed bod in a Sir Lewis Hamilton, right, who's kind of not over the hill necessarily, but past his prime. I mean, if anybody wants to talk about... Do you know how many races Sir Lewis... I don't want to get into this conversation because I feel like I'm kicking a man when he's down now. Do you know how many times Sir Lewis, over the past 20 races, has beaten Charles Leclerc in a race proper? 3 times. That's not Sir Lewis, is it? Port 2008 Sir Lewis in that car. And Houston Charles Leclerc. We have ourselves a problem. And one of those 3 times, by the way, was when he was meant to give back the place in Baku, and he decided not to. Right, accident that Lewis mismanaged. Yeah, of course. Is Horner becoming a stakes holder with Alpine? Potentially, Kinel. It's one of the options. I mean, I read so bloody much. I think I would have heard it if it was in the books already. T-minus 6 minutes. Chat. What's Craig's? Why is Craig Slater? I don't know. Craig Slater as your chair. No, it's a good lad, Craig, but bring back Simon. And where's wishing Natalie Pinkham a healthy recovery, by the way, an expeditious one as well after her operation. Lewis and ground effect cars have not well suited his driving style. Yeah, he doesn't like them. Maybe he comes back in 2026. So Mark, you're a legend out here gifting memberships. Do me a favour, if you're a brand new member, get yourself over to the community tab and join the Discord if of course you were that way inclined. T-minus 5 minutes to go. Easy G, how are you feeling? Mate, Lando Norris. Odds on favourite for the Drivers' Championship. 56% of the time he wins it, some say. I mean, how does Lando deal with this pressure now? Because there will be pressure. Like a couple of races back when nobody expected him to win and he was far down the road from Oscar. That's a different thing. Now that he's right back in there, odds on favourite to win the championship. Let's see how you can manage that. Now some say that Abu Dhabi last year was proof positive that Lando doesn't suffer from pressure. That there is no expectation performance doom loop as far as Norris is concerned, some will say, but I would argue it's a very different type of pressure if you're racing for the constructors as versus your dying wish, which is of course to become a world drivers championship. Do you think Behrman will do better? Not now, OGZ, it'd be a bit premature for him, but this time next year. It's almost like there's more. Said this of Checo, didn't we, when Checo was struggling? It's almost like there's more risk to keeping Lewis now as far as the opportunity cost that is losing on Ollie Behrman. I think they'll push the button sooner than we expect, you know. And I don't think Lewis will want to hang around. If he doesn't blend well with next year's car, Lewis won't want to tarnish his legacy any further than he already has done. 3 times he's crossed the start-finish line this season of 20 races ahead of Charles Leclerc. 4.3 kilometres around there, your track distance. 71 laps, 1 minute 7.281 is your track lap record. 43 metres elevation, 430 kilometres per hour top speed. It's going to get techie. The tyres that they've brought are a bit techie as well, haven't they? Harder around here. Of course, they've bought C4, C3 and C2. I wonder why they've done that. Interested? I think that whatever it is, they're trying to incite an additional pit stop, right? Or circumstances at the very least. Lando has trouble keeping. How did Colapinto? Michael, have you heard of Mercado Libre? His sponsors that are bringing in the big bucks. I think Flavio at this point would have pervaded the driver landscape and realised that there's no one else out. Who else are they going to... Who else? 2026 cars and the new eras. I was surprised to hear that apparently the 26 cars will generate more downforce from the floor. As versus the 25 cars, I'm not sure. Maybe more downforce from the floor, but not more downforce for... I think it's a different type of that. I don't know if that's true. You know, I'll check. I'll have a look. Easy G, Neil. I'll have a look at it. We are T-minus 2 minutes away. Cameron, you don't have GR63 for the poll, and he goes well around there. No British bias on this channel. Oh, the humanity. maybe I should have him on there. Sir Charles Edward, you're a legend. Up bright and early, ready for some F1-age goosebumps this weekend. Let's go, OJP. Recovery settings. You think you can do it, Sir Charles? I'm nervous for the fella, and I really would love for him to do it. Is the worst. That's the worst thing here. I'd love for Oscar to do it. Of course, I'm rooting for him. He's a racing man's racer. Like I rate it. I respect it. But I don't know. Looks windy, but no rain to speak of just yet this weekend, chat. And too kind as always, Sir Charles. I appreciate you, mate. T-minus 60 minutes. George not in the poll again. But go on then, chat. We used to have this argument, didn't we, every single week with Lewis Hamilton fans. When I wouldn't put Lewis Hamilton on a poll, Lewis Hamilton fans, this happened earlier on in the season, by the way. Lewis Hamilton fans, Colt RH would say, Cameron, how very dare you? You need to put some respect on Lewis Hamilton's name. And I'd say, well, I'm just going by the odds, aren't I? Like the top 4 per the experts, those are who I take. And in this instance, okay, fair play, George. So Max Verstappen per quali. So Max Verstappen is your favourite. Lando Norris, joint favourite, by the way, to put it on poll with Lando Norris. Oscar Piastri is your third favourite. Joint 4 favourites are George. And guess who? Charles Leclerc. So do you know what I mean? What am I going to do? Pick your poison. Oh, we see it. Formula E. Who said that? Did I say Formula E? Why the delay? Carmen, I don't know. They're messing around in the background. Drogovic to Drogovic to Formula E. I think that happened a couple of weeks ago, to be fair. I think it was confirmed a couple of weeks ago. I think. Oof, waiting for the raid. I'm nervous. Can you imagine qualifying tomorrow? Oh, the humanity. I can't bear it. It's going to be too chaotic. There we go. T-minus 5 minutes for a cheeky session start. I know not why the session is delayed, however. I want Oscar to win the WTC and instantly leave her. So go on and crap mods. Let's expand upon this as a cheeky thought experiment. Why would Oscar leave if he won the championship? I don't think he's going to do a Damon Hill or a Nigel Mansell in 96 and 92 respectively. I don't think he's got that in his locker. If he loses, however, why would he stay? That's the conversation that we're having. If he loses and he attributes the loss to some sort of favouritism or a lack even-handedness as far as McLaren or lack thereof, then make the case for him staying. That's the issue, chat. Therein lies the problem. At least Georgia's got pole on this. It's true, OG Zilla. Neither one of Charles or King George have been really bad. That both of them have been good. Oh, the racing gods torrential it must be. It has to be, says much. Let's go. Do you guys want Oscar to leave McLaren and become an number 2 driver? So EGG, the point is, here's how here's if I'm playing hypothetical games and I'm putting my Oscar Piastri driver 81 lid on. Here's what I think. Here's what I do if I were Oscar. I'd purvey the circumstance and analyse what's happened season to date, being call off the battle at Australia, again to my detriment. British Grand Prix. You guys know already that Oscar Piastri got a penalty, a very harsh penalty. They didn't invert the Italian Grand Prix. Lando Norris then, 5.9 seconds slow pit stop. Invert positions. What sort of inconsistency games are we playing here? And then the most egregious of them that I keep putting forth as my principal supposition is, of course, that they asked Lando Norris to give excuse me, what's wrong with your enunciation, Cameron? They asked Oscar Piastri to give Lando Norris a tow on the back of Lando Norris's error of the unforced variety. No, you're having a laugh. This makes no sense. That would be the worst one. So I think Oscar will purvey that circumstance. And if he attributes his losing the Drivers' Championship to one of those things, to a lack of McLaren even-handedness, all the while Zach Brown's up there saying we'd rather lose the championship than sacrifice our egalitarianism, behave yourself. Oscar Piastri will be like, well, this ain't going to change. So long as Lando Norris is here, I've got all the favouritism answers to the favouritism questions that I need. So move accordingly. If AJ is having problems with more front end on the car, why would he move to max? No, so it's not the front end. So go on, if we're going to get specific here, Mark Hughes wrote a brilliant article on this. What Oscar has been struggling of late, as versus earlier on in the season, in the first and second thirds, are low grip circumstances. So go on, this is how you know. This is how you'll understand that Mark Hughes is barking at the right tree. You know that the trend has looked something like this as far as Oscar's progress over the course of FP1 all the way through to Q3. That Oscar and Lando, particularly in the first and second third of the championship, they'd rock up and Lando would be on it straight away, right? And then all of a sudden we get to Q3 and Oscar Piastri will at least caught up that gap, if not usurped Lando. Do you know what I mean? Oftentimes, Oscar in Q3 would have the favourable delta, be the quickest car on track. Why would that happen? Well, Mark Hughes says that two things. In the first instance, Lando is more overlappy as far as his throttle and brake inputs, meaning that on the combined entry to some of these turns, Lando is often feathering the throttle while being on the brake. That helps him do two things. In the first instance, it helps him heat up his fronts, get them to the optimal operating temperature window. In the second instance, it helps him not destroy his rears. He knows how to slide the car a little bit better than Oscar Piastri. And in the second instance, oh, who's this? And the inverse of that is that Lando Norris does better around low grip circumstances than Oscar Piastri because of the aforementioned driving style. What does that mean, therefore, for Oscar Piastri? Well, it's a tyre management issue, isn't it? The way he lost time last Grand Prix at the Mexican GP in qualifying was all in turn one and all in the final turn. Turn one because he hadn't got his fronts up to temperature, and the last turn, turn 16 I want to say from memory, the last turn, because when he got there, he destroyed his rear. So it's this time management issue. So that's why I don't think it's necessarily that Oscar will go to Red Bull and struggle. And even then, if Max Verstappen goes forcing to be 5-time, what about when Max leaves? What about that? If you want to build up a team in your own image and be the first and only driver and have the number two, like, do you know what I mean, clean up after your nonsense, then it might not be a bad choice. I think there's reason. Chat. That's the point I'm trying to make. I think there is it's not an insane choice, is the point I'm making. What did I miss? Just woke up. We have a delay. Yep. Cars we'll be about 10-minute delayed, I think. Did you guys see the sculpted cars? I did indeed see the sculpted cars. I wonder what Max will do with those. Whether he'll just send it to Nelson Senior. I don't know. Lando is indeed in the lead by 1 point, so no pressure. Said without a hint of sarcasm, Max. A trend is a trend until there is a vent. I think you, Raj, that the phrase, or in financial services circles at least, the term phraseology is the trend is your friend until there's a bend. But maybe I'm probably me being stupid too much. I don't know what I'm talking about. Do you know what I mean? B-spec noddy brand of F1. It is dusty. So this is the problem. Crofty, Track Evolution is the friend of Oscar Piastri. Supercore structures. Beware false prophets, Easy G. Beware false prophets, defer to. I tell you who Mark Hughes is. Mark Hughes is the guy that figured out the split turbo hybrid, where all of the extra power and advantage was coming from as far as Mercedes in 2014, without even being told. Easy G, what's going on, Jose? I hope you're good, mate. I defer to Mark Hughes on this one, rather than a driver's coach. He doesn't coach any drivers. But I'm being petty, aren't I? Easy G, you forgive me, mate. If you enjoy the content, you enjoy the content, and don't let me put you off of it. Piastri's lack of pace is something that worries me for the end of the season. Tick Short's now 100,000%, mate. Lewis, please get a podium. That dreaded Ferrari podium statistic. Umar, it's not even that, mate. He's already the I don't know. 20 races is already the record as far as the first season of a Ferrari F1 driver. Nobody's gone so long as far as races consecutive. Son's podium. Therein lies the issue. Trend is your friend until there's a friend. Let's go. OJ is folded under pressure, almost winning the WDC. What do you think the second seat will do to him at RB? But it won't be the second seat, TWM. Yeah, Easy G. I don't mean to be. I'm being a bit. Just beware false prophets. Do you know what I mean? Mark Hughes. Going to go against Mark Hughes doesn't get it right all the time. Mark Hughes said that Antonelli was 2/10 quicker than all of the other F2 drivers on the grid, which wasn't true. That was a difference in extents and not kinds. I don't. Mark Hughes doesn't bat 1,000. But I mean, if we're you know where I'm going, Easy G. You know what I'm going with that. If you are a driver's coach, then which drivers are you coaching? Did you check the podcast I linked to the members with Max? I watched every second of it, mind. Every second of it. We'll go through later on the Friday show, I promise. I've taken notes, I've taken screenshots. Max was talking about everything, talking about his advantage, what type of car he likes as far as the handling dynamic, why Red Bull have turned it around, he talked about everything. It was bonkers. Correct, Mega. Adrian, whose company has become already majority shareholder of Quadrant. Your boy's going to have to run away in T-minus 19 minutes. So I apologise for the abrupt termination of the stream. 19 minutes I'm going, so I'm going to miss the last 40 minutes of bloody FP1, sadly. But your boy's got an appointment to make. But again, that accepted. If there is a car on track, we'll be talking about it here, live on the Cameron CC channel, as per usual. No rain just yet, eh? You're all right, Germanic. No rain. Go on then, let's talk to the circumstance quickly. As we round third, T-minus 19 minutes. Look at that, because we started late. I'm going to miss most of FP1. Fumigating, but I've got to run away in T-minus 19 minutes, sadly. T-minus 54 minutes left on the docket as far as FP1 is concerned. Piastri, look at that, chat. Oh, the humanity. He's been on the sim, hasn't he, that chap? 1 minute 12.169 on 2-lap-old, on brand new, fresh, white labelled hard compound tyres. Lando Norris, though, is looking to right that wrong, isn't he? 18.5, 2 tenths up is Lando Norris through set to 1 on his teammate, but then he loses himself 2.5 tenths, but then he nails it in set to 3. Look at that. Oh, that's techie. Oh, Yuki, get yourself back on the black stuff, mate. It's key to finish first. One must first finish. Sunoda-san. I'm looking at the deltas. So 2.5 tenths. So Piastri's 2.5 tenths slower, and then 2.5 tenths quicker. And then 3. What's going on, chat? Set to 3 is where Lando Norris has sealed the deal there. Huh. Interesting. Now, wouldn't you like to race that track? I know it's a sexy track, Houston. I'm not going to lie. It is a very sexy track. Should give a watch those Sona data and explain. Maybe I'll check it out, Easy G. Maybe. But who does bat 1,000? If you don't say anything, you never make him. Is that 100%, Joe? It's a good shout. It is a good shout. Miss RS, 1 a.m. Oh, the humanity, Miss RS. The level of dedication. Do you know what I mean? It's gonna get techie. We'll revisit. It's gonna be quali tomorrow. That's gonna be chaos, absolute chaos and carnage, and I can't wait for it. Personally, that's going to be the highlight of my weekend. For the avoidance of doubt, if we're dealing in UK time, GMT, race start 5 p.m. on Sunday. Sprint race tomorrow will kick off at 1 p.m. again GMT. 5 p.m. for qualifying. Oh, the humanity. Oh, the humanity. That will, of course, take place tomorrow. And then sprint qualifying a little bit later on today will kick off at 6 p.m. So T minus 3 hours and 15 minutes. Yuki bottomed out, spins into the wall. The more in the fight, the better. 100%. The more, the merrier. God, no, God, it has no rain. Not just yet, Umach. Keep your rain dance powder dry just yet. Just yet. Let me add some copium. The Brazil circuit has been resurfaced, so maybe Ferrari can run the car lower to the ground and pull off a sprint win. Maybe, Neil. Maybe. Charles Leclerc sounded like he was hiding something in the pre-race presser. Of course, the fact he looked very happy. He was quite resplendent with Charles on the back of the news that he's to marry his long-term Mrs. Alex, and as well he might be. Congratulations to both of them. However, it felt like he was hiding something else, some sort of performance. I mean, his words were that he didn't expect anything untoward, that there would be no performance jump because there are no upgrades coming with T-4 races remaining in the championship that is 2-5. But I felt like Charles Leclerc was hiding something. King George Russell of Kings and Things Norfolk goes top of your timing sheets, only shortly, therefore, to be outdone by Lando Norris to the tune of nearly 1/10 as news makes no difference. Let's go. James, the world is rooting for Maximilian Verstappen, but I think we'll need circumstances here. Everybody do your rain dances. Front nose damage, Max shows sauce, but it's hard. Oh yeah, there we go. It's just switched around. Great minds. Mark, you're ahead of the curve, mate. Just on board with Alex Albon. Good afternoon, mate, says Crofty. Go on, let's tune into this. I'll never miss Brundle commentating the Senna S's. Sprint quality today. It's tighter schedule with sprint. I love it. Do you like the sprint really, Darius? Let me hear what Martin Brundle say. The Senna S's turn 1 and 2, T1 turn 2, turn 3. No, it was. I think Max wasn't on softs. That was multi-viewer. Just a cheeky delay. And again, support multi-viewer. If you haven't downloaded multi-viewer already, what are you doing with your life? The goatiest F1 app to have ever goated. 400 of you watching concurrently. Do me a favour and smash the like. There is merch as well. Market leading, somebody says. Martin Brundle says it is going to be techier than techie things. Nick Marker. Martin Brundle says they're all on it. Look at this. They are all on it. They're doing the Max Verstappen thing, aren't they? 10/10 in the first second of the first lap of the first session, round 21. Brazilian Grand Prix. Let's go, McLaren. Oscar Lando, I don't care. Oof, Jason, are you big on McLaren? One of the only few. And listen, stand your base. Do you know what I mean? Stand your base. Like I get it. Loyalty is a worthy and edifying quality. Of course it is. But I think McLaren have done a brilliant job at losing themselves a gazillion fans. Hence why Lando has to go up there after a brilliant Mexican Grand Prix, does everything that he needed to do, puts it on pole, gets his elbows out going into turn 1, keeps his nose clean, as near as makes no difference, no mistakes all weekend, and yet and still the dude's getting booed on the bloody podium. It's not fair, is it really? Not fair. Boo the chap. Boo him if he's done something worthy of booing, right? Or nah? I don't know. What do I know? My very noddy B-spec peculiar brand of F1 soliloquy. If Charles is waiting for Ferrari to check before he gets married, he will never. we are checking. We are checking those answers. 100% too much. It's a bit we're delayed. Oscar Piastri about to complete a lap here. Goes second. Oof. Oscar Piastri a 10th adrift of George Russell. Maybe Maybe George. Maybe I need to put some more respect on George's name, eh? Maybe I need to. What do you reckon, Z? Maybe I need to put some more respect on George Russell's name. Cameron, would you on Verstappen? Would I bet on Verstappen for pole? So the rule of the channel is, of course, that we'll never bet against Max Verstappen. Problem is, Max Verstappen's co-favourite as well. He should be. So never bet the eventuality or the outcome. Always bet the line. If somebody you want to see and again, this is not financial advice. The trend is your friend until there's a bend. But you want favourable circumstances. Have you guys been watching UFC? Insane. I have no idea what's going on over there. It's chaos. Yeah, Pablo, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. What are his odds? His odds are 4-7. 36%. 36% of the time. So Pablo, the question that you want to ask before you lay any money down, and again, caveat, this is not financial services or financial advice. The issue is, if you think Max drops it on pole more than 36% of the time under these current circumstances, then go for it. Again, not financial advice. That's the question. If you think less, then leave it alone. I think 36% may be about right. Unless if I could guarantee you some rain, then 36% is wrong, isn't it? See, but I can't guarantee you any rain. I don't know. It was meant to be raining now in FP1 and it isn't. So what do I know? What do the forecasters know? Nothing. So George Russell, I know. Got to put some more respect on his name, Z. Do you know what I mean? GR is the line. George will stir the pot this weekend potentially if he can take points off of the McLaren. McLaren is at fault for Lando's being 1000% Darius. Their favouritism makes it looks like Lando has it easier than Oscar and doesn't deserve it. I tell you what, well, the Mexican journo pushed back. Lando in the post-race presser said, "I don't know why they're booing." And the Mexican journo said, "Well, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Hove. H to the O." Let me tell you, let me put you on game, Lando. The reason why they're booing because they felt like you should have given back the 3 points that you gained from the inversion at the Italian Grand Prix. That's why. Kimi Antonelli not too pleased. You can boo him all you want if you like. Easy G says, so long as he wins, eh? I missed last race. I was on a cruise. I don't hate it, bet. Trick. I don't hate it, Brett Trick, at all. I wish I was on a cruise. Look at your boy's head. I keep doing this, chat. What's wrong with me? Talking like this. Some of my best work as far as soliloquy and talking extemporaneously has been done like this, and I need to stop it. It's not professional. Russell GOAT status confirmed, says Neil. Charles worth a flutter. 14-1. I just don't trust the Ferrari, and Charles never gone well around here. Charles nowhere to be seen on any of the pole. Maybe he hasn't had the car right. But you're going to tell me that I just don't know, chat. I don't know. AWS have changed that up a little bit, that metric. No longer is Red Bull the fastest machine. Remember when they did that? And put it on Twitter? And everybody lost their mind when they said that Red Bull was the quickest car. Yeah, course AWS, because you know what you're on about, don't you? That makes perfect sense. 406, if you're watching concurrently, do me a favour, smash the like. Your boy's going to have to run in a minute. I apologise. It's not my fault that F1 are running on CPT. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Ted Kravitz is saying that graphic is nonsense as well. Come on, AWS, sort it out, mate. UK. Another nightmare from UK. For 100 of you watching concurrently, listen, I'm going to have to run in a minute. In sports, booing and cheering cannot exist independently of each other. Bravo, sir. They are indeed two sides of the same coin. Do you know what I mean? Ain't nothing easy about F1, 1000% easy, G. And with those points, Oscar would be ahead. True, Darius. This is the point, right? But I mean, then you want to talk about, if we're going to play balancing games for a second, if you're talking about the points that Lando Norris has lost, you're talking about the DNF. Again, that had nothing to do with him. Where was he there? Third? Cheeky 15 points. Like, that's not great. And then what else has Lando lost? Canada, that was his own doing. But there will always be this normalization portion. How dare you, Cam? Having a non-representative FP1 is going to make this weekend pure 100%, especially if it starts raining. What's going on, Caroline? You're a legend. And I appreciate your support, Caroline, massively. Some real douchebags work for F1 and Liberty. Did you hear that Liam Parker chap talking about F1's not a sport? And if my boss here, Stefano Domenicali, do I need to let it run, EasyG? So I just let it run in the background? And then maybe, okay, fair. Go on then, let's get this poll out. Am I glitchy to you guys as I'm waving? I need to sort that out, don't I? Right. 73% of you think the Max Verstappen has the whip hand. Right. Lack of skill, Doris. Oh, the humanity. Right, so I'm running away in 5 minutes. Do I let the stream run or end stream? You guys, I am at the behest of your guys' free will here. Whatever you guys choose. Okay, you win. 405 of you watching. How very dare you? Oh dear. I wonder what is so difficult about getting the compounds they race on correct. I don't know what. But they spoke about this, didn't they? Max and Gabby Bortoleto, that a tyre war like Michelin and Bridgestone back in the day might indeed be advantageous to F1, and racing and competition helps for things like that, does it not? 76%. I know I said it a gazillion times, mate. I've got to run early. Like I've literally got to go in like 3 minutes time because I've got some place to be, sadly. But again, the next 30 minutes apart, if there is a car on track this weekend, you bet your bottom dollar will be here streaming it at the very least 30 minutes before. At the very least 30 minutes before. All right. So you guys are saying leave the stream. I will leave it. I will leave it then. You guys have got me. I apologise for suggesting something. I will leave it, and you guys can talk amongst yourselves, and I'll leave the. Might just mute and just be here. No, I've got to. I'm being stupid. We were chatting. Okay, cool. Yeah. Legend. That's a dumb poll. End stream. What the fudge is on you, mate? Swamp, I've got to run, mate. I don't want to leave you guys in the lurch with just a blank bloody screen. And do you know what I mean? Anyone recommend a good website for live tracking? Live tracking that. Owen, multi-viewer chap. Like, did I not say? Multi-viewer, download multi-viewer on the PC or a laptop, and you've got everything infinitely more than you can see on this screen because I'm not allowed to. Okay, I'll leave the stream. Don't end the stream, YouTube. Let's go, watch. You legends. Go on and chat. I am actually going to have to run. You guys have been legends as always. I apologise profusely for having to snowflake Cameron. Do you know what I mean? Having to run away. But again, we'll be back 6 p.m, 5:30 p.m. later on. 30 minutes. Billy Blank, you're a legend. We'll be back 30 minutes before sprint qualifying, 30 minutes before qualifying proper. In fact, 30 minutes before the sprint race tomorrow as well. It's going to get techier than techie things. I will be back later on, and the bloody Friday night show where we talk about all things Max Verstappen and Gabriel Bortoleto, and this God tier interview, Pelas Pistas. Ron Real, absolute legendary settings. Okay, cool. I'll leave it on and you guys can talk amongst yourselves. I apologise once again profusely for having to flake, but you boys got some things to do and somewhere to be. Back again 30 minutes later on before sprint race qualifying, and it's going to get techier than techie things. You guys are legends. I will see you on the next one. Between now and then, there we go. Between now and then, the prosecution rests no further questions. Your Honour. back again, like Hakkinen. What's going on, chat? I don't even know. T minus 1 minute left. Oh no, Oscar Piastri, let's go, Oscar. However, where's Max Verstappen? That's what I want to know. Wasn't Max Verstappen just topped? Max Verstappen in 17th. Fudge, surf sauce. What's going on here? And Max Verstappen offs. Go on then, let's dissect for this in the dying embers. Flipping Nora. So mediums. Where's Max's hard medium run? So he did one run on softs. Where? Put on the mediums. Look at Max Verstappen, 26 laps on them their medians. Sim run settings. Same thing with Charles. Same thing with Lewis Hamilton's Ferrari. What's going on, chat? Oh, Darius, I don't know. What is going on? Where is the fast lap from Max Verstappen, please? Oscar Piastri tops his timing sheet with 17 seconds remaining. Oh, the humanity. Oh, the humanity. I need to do this, don't I? I apologise, chat, for me being all over the shop. It's chaos. And there it is. Fudge. Easy, I apologise. Go on, Oscar Piastri's on a hot one here. Look at this. Oscar Piastri going quicker. He goes 17.8. All of the lads are struggling. Max Verstappen nowhere. But again, you've got to. It's on the hards. They're all on the hards. That's why they're not struggling, Crofty. Don't come crawling back to Oscar now, Toby. I mean, we saw him on the sim getting in the lap time. If Oscar Piastri at this state, oh, here we go. That come after hour, come after Lando Norris. Look at that, 109. His final sector is chaos, isn't it? Half a tenth down the road in the final sector is Oscar Piastri. This is going to get chaotic. So go on then. Here's what I'm going to tell you. If Oscar Piastri is as close to Lando Norris this early into the session, when the track's at this state of evolution, oh, the humanity. Oscar Piastri will get techier than techie things, unless it rains, of course, when Oscar Piastri turns into an F1 peddler of a cat. Do you know what I mean? 325 if you're watching concurrently. Lewis Hamilton is indeed struggling all over the shop. What's going on, Miss RS? We're back again, just like Hakkinen. Oh my gosh, Lewis off. What is going on? Times of the board are not representative. Max is on hards, of course. He didn't do a full run on the softs. Okay, cool. Good. Oh, the humanity. Right, chat, I'm going to run away again. We are T minus 9 minutes and no seconds left on the docket. Not so fast, EasyG. Imagine. Not so fast. Come after hour, come after Lando Norris, eh? Problem is, though, EasyG, if past this prologue and we're drawing trend lines around a track like this, Oscar Piastri will close the gap, if not end up gapping Lando Norris over the course of FP1 sprint. Well, to be fair, we only get FP1 this time round, right? I blinked and Cameron disappeared. I blinked and Cameron's back again. Oh, the humanity. Oscar for pole. It looks like he's in the running. I think he'll get better and quicker over the course of the race weekend, unless the rain gods throw a spanner into the works. Max didn't do a full lap. He swapped for front wing. He wants it. Will go fine. Don't DTS on us now, chat. Let's go, Biocam. Oh, Biocam, go. Oh, the humanity. Look, I'm going to run away now. Look at me all glitchy on this. Why am I so glitchy? Let me just make sure that I'm nervous, chat. I'm really nervous. Go away. Come on. That was indeed our FP1. Darius, you're a legend. Go on then. I'm going to run away and I'm going to come prepped and ready. T minus 30 minutes before we get ourselves a sprint qualifying session in, of course, 1.5 hours from now. To be precise, 1 hour 50 minutes. Max Verstappen doing a pit entry, going quick. P7 incoming, their X. No! Max only drive for data and not for fast rounds, 100%. He's done a few laps, hasn't he, there? Max Verstappen. Go on then, for the avoidance of doubt. your runners and riders in FP1. Lando Norris sets the quickest lap time purple on a 109.975. Shortly thereafter, 2/100ths adrift is OJP. Nico Hülkenberg does a 110.5, half a second adrift of the McLarens. The likes of, what's important here to note, the Ferrari of Lewis and Leclerc and the Red Bull of Maximilian Verstappen, who, by the way, was quickest through the speed trap at 332 kilometers per hour. They're all doing race sims, 29 laps on the hards. Max Verstappen and then Charles Leclerc does 30 laps on the hards. Lewis Hamilton does 28 laps on the hards. What is going on? Of course, it's simulation time. They've taken different approaches to the very limited free practice time that they have. You're glitchy when you have bad taste. Go on then, chat. We'll be back 30 minutes before an all-important sprint qualifying session, after which we will get answers to some of these driver championship questions. You guys have been legends. I apologise for being a bit of an F1 snowflake and running away. I had some boxes to tick. We will be back 30 minutes before sprint qualifying. Between now and then, the prosecution rests no further questions, Your Honour.